OMG BBG!
Welcome back to another BeybladeGeeks video. In the last video, we finally unboxed the Beyblade Burst Pro Series stuff. We unboxed all 3 bays at once, so definitely check that out if you guys haven't yet. This video, we're gonna get into a deep dive on this particular one, which is Cho-Z Valtryek. So yeah, we were super excited to finally get our hands on these Pro Series tops. I felt like we've been waiting for like 6 years for Hasbro to come up with something like this, and it's finally here. I know you guys are super excited to see Hasbro getting into the game just like Takara Tomy did, making their bays more like the original ones from Takara Tomy. That's basically like the theme of the Pro Series. So in this video, we're just gonna get into a deep dive and check out Cho-Z Valtryek compared with the Takara Tomy Cho-Z Valtryek and the Turbo Valtryek from Hasbro earlier last year. So,
yeah, because there is differences. Like, although Pro Series does come with a bunch of Japanese and Takara Tomy inspired parts, there are still differences.
Yeah, so it's very interesting how Hasbro included some of these new features but also changed it slightly. Also with the launchers that came with the Pro Series stuff, it kind of gives us an idea of what Hasbro might come up with next, so we'll see. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into our Cho-Z Valtryek and do all our comparisons. 3 Valkyries basically laid out here. They look very similar. Can you guys even tell which one is which? This is kind of like a challenge. Well, it is really difficult to tell. So yeah, starting off with the energy layer on the top there. To reveal, we have the Takara Tomy one on the left, we have the Hasbro Cho-Z Valtryek on the middle, and then on the right we have the Hasbro Turbo Valtryek. Yeah, the differences is night and day between the Hasbro Turbo Valtryek and the other 2. And then I guess the other 2 is pretty much identical to each other. They do use like pretty much the same mold, it looks like. There are some like very slight color differences. Maybe it's just a manufacturing like variation. So like the red, for example, in the middle, it's a little bit brighter on the Takara Tomy one, but nothing too major. And of course, our stickers on the Takara Tomy one is a little bit worn out because we use it so much.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys pay attention to the small details, you can tell. One's definitely more used than the other. But yeah, that red piece in the middle is looking a little bit more copper on the Pro Series Cho-Z Valtryek.
And of course, the most important part for most of you guys is the metal piece that's on the Pro Series stuff. So same location, they look very similar to the Takara Tomy one. The Turbo Valtryek from like last year from Hasbro, of course, has no metal, it just has like silver paints. All 3 of these actually have that gimmick of the wings coming out, so the burst locks. But the Hasbro Turbo Valtryek one is a lot weaker, that's for sure. Let's take apart the bays and look at other differences. So this is the Turbo Valtryek, it just slides out, right? Like the standard Hasbro tops that we always have seen. Do the same thing with our Pro Series tops. Actually click.
Yo, traditional locking system.
Yep, just so like nice. The Takara Tomy one. Right?
Yeah, so many differences that you can spot out just from taking them apart.
Yeah. Alright, so on the right side here we have the Hasbro system, also with the teeth. So here are the differences. Do you guys feel like there's any major differences? Quality wise, they look the same. However, I do know that there are some concerns with the Hasbro wearing down a bit quicker. Is that true? I guess we'll have to really test it to find out. Let's look at the differences on the disc. So the Pro Series top actually didn't even come with the original part. It came with our Blitz discs instead of the Zenith. So it's kind of interesting that they just mixed it up. Blitz came with Sword Valtryek.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, Pro Series is supposed to be like the originals, but then they just mixed up the combo. I don't know, I think it's kind of whack, but at least you're getting a full-fledged like disc though.
But yeah, just a lot less detail on the Turbo Valtryek one, of course.
Yeah, that Hasbro Zenith is nothing compared to the original.
Yeah, and okay, let's move on to the performance tip, and then we'll of course weigh everything out. So now let's take a look at the drivers that came with the corresponding bays.
Yeah, it's really weird because the original came with Evolution, and then Turbo Valtryek got its Hasbro version of Evolution, but then the Pro Series Bay came with Jolt.
Yeah, Jolt is from Bloody Longness. It's not even a right spinning bay. So it's kind of interesting that they just threw that in there. But I mean, more variety the better, maybe?
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I'm like, variety is good, but the whole point of Pro Series is to make it more like Takara Tomy. which they definitely could have made, but then they decided to mix and match. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it would have been nice if everything was original like the anime combo. Also, as a side note, you can also tell that the Hasbro plastic is a little bit more dull in color, whereas the Takara Tomy one is a bit more like transparent. The Hasbro one also has like text on the driver, whereas the Takara Tomy one doesn't. Okay, so now the stats that you guys have all been waiting for. Hasbro Pro Series
Cho-Z Valtryek, 19.53 grams for its layer.
Okay, and then now Takara Tomy, the original one.
Ooh, 20.97. Yo, it is still heavier.
So Takara Tomy's still slightly heavier.
Yeah, by like a gram and a bit.
Yep. But compared to the other Hasbro release,
Turbo Valtryek, yeah, 15.43.
Oh man, trash. Since there are some variation between the Pro Series and the Takara Tomy, let's take a look at what else that came in the box. From our Pro Series, we had the Blitz disc.
28.43.
Okay.
So yeah, remember that number, guys? That's the Hasbro Pro Series one.
So Takara Tomy.
And 29 right on the dot.
Alright, so,
once again,
the Takara Tomy one is actually still heavier. Yeah, so we grabbed this Blitz disc from our Valkyrie. And then the Pro Series also gave us the like longness driver.
Yeah, the Jolt. So weird. 5.66.
5.66. So we grabbed one from our bloody longness Takara Tomy.
6.03.
Still slightly heavier, hey?
Yeah, once again, a little bit heavier. And that one's like a bit worn out too.
Yeah, so that's a pattern happening with this Pro Series versus Takara Tomy original parts. But still, guys, it's just very slightly different in weight. It still looks and feels completely like the original Takara Tomy one, so I feel like that's a win. So let's click this in. Nice. Sounds just like Takara Tomy.
Yeah, that combo looks so different though.
Yeah, like, so satisfying. Anyways, here's a nice look at the differences.
Yeah, the full combo.
Pro Series one on your right. It's pretty much like another Takara Tomy Bey, to be honest with you. If we do any test battles or test spins, it'll look like a Takara Tomy like Bey. So another very interesting design choice that came with the Cho-Z Valtryek in the Pro Series is our light launcher, or I guess you can call it the Pro launcher from Hasbro. So for those of you expert BBGs out there, you guys would know this is like a light launcher design. Looks like every other Takara Tomy like starter light launchers that we got like 100 times already. They're not like the best launchers, but definitely like better than the ones that you get from Hasbro originally.
Yeah, that's like Speedstorm one right there.
Yeah, like this is actually the orange one that came in the first season with the long winder. They're still really satisfying to use. Sometimes I like to just use these if I don't feel like using a string launcher. So not bad at all. What's interesting is they actually, other than Hasbro like copying the design or just using the design of the old one, you still have the ability to add a Bay logger on there. A Bay logger that is pretty much discontinued in Japan, but they stuck with this design. Are we gonna get Bay loggers in North America, guys? Is Hasbro gonna come up with some accessories for these?
That would be pretty sick.
I think that would be pretty sick. I think it'll be a good move for them to incorporate some more accessories, like a grip, for example. You know, currently Hasbro does not sell any grips whatsoever for the Pro Series stuff. Hopefully in the future they would, you know, come up with more accessories. I think that would be pretty cool because you can see it right there. It fits completely fine with the Takara Tomy accessories. Another thing interesting is the QR code on there. It looks like it was just like a sticker that was stuck on. You can just like peel it off right there if you want it more minimalistic. Now it looks like the Takara Tomy one. These Hasbro Pro Series light launchers also come only in one spin, so this is all a right spinning launcher. Whereas the non-Pro Series launchers actually have a dual spin ability because they have 2 slots. So yeah, like interesting choice. So let's do a test spin with our brand new Pro Series Cho-Z Valkyrie, or Valtryek, I mean. So yeah,
like
this
random
is
combo.
legit. Like it feels like a Takara Tomy Bey that we're launching. I mean, like there's some variation with colors and whatnot, even on the like launcher, but everything looks pretty legit. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, this is the feel, guys. It feels like the original. Doesn't feel like Hypersphere, doesn't feel like Slingshock, doesn't feel like Speedstorm.
Yo, can't wait to get that Pro Series Stadium too, because it's going to look very similar to the standard base stadium.
And there we go. With that launch, it looks like the gimmick activated. So yeah, burst locks are out now.
It's funny because the advertising says that activation is rare, but you just use the standard like light launcher that came with it.
Because we're that good, you know. So while we're at it, let's show you guys the burst lock, how it clicks back in. So when you push it back in, like that. So that's Pro Series. Got a Takara Tomy one. Pretty much the same. It's nice to see.
Alright, let's do a battle with Cho-Z Valkyrie versus Cho-Z Valtryek.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Dude, I can't even tell from the top down like which bay is which.
Legit, as I was putting the bay together earlier, I was like, actually I grabbed the wrong layer.
It's actually, yeah, pretty confusing.
Which one?
Yeah, which one won? Oh, it's
okay,
Takara Tomy
won.
3, 2, 1. Nice.
Pretty quick. Yo, legit though, I feel like we've waited so long for Hasbro to do something like this, and it's finally here. I just really hope that they keep on releasing Pro Series and not just leave it at these 3 bays, because so far we only have 3 releases.
Yeah, and give us those full combos, man. The originals. 3, 2, 1, shoot! Oh, nice attack.
And if you guys didn't know, that was Hasbro.
The Hasbro stuff. It is able to win.
Pro Series really feels like the real thing, man. Alright guys, so that's basically the comparison with our Cho-Z Valtryek, the Pro Series version, with her other Valtryeks. So yeah, what did you guys think? Make sure you guys let us know in the comment section below. Tell us if there's any other comparisons or other videos you want us to do with the Pro Series. And as always,
Geeks out!